Ludicrous Feed is proudly sponsored by Carloop, Australian EV Data and Ownership Trends, Cobra Car Insurance, Pay Per Kilometre, Wallbox, EV Charging Solutions, and EV, hire electric vehicles from real owners. So I've decided to do this test one more time and just test how sensitive the cameras are. So here I am getting closer to my garage door. Okay, saying the 49, oh no, pretty close. Doesn't really have any idea where my garage door is, right? So, I mean, it's saying it's anywhere between sort of 40 to, yeah, okay, let's say 40, oh, it's going up to 50. So, ooh, okay. So I'm going to stop it there and we're going to measure how close it is to the garage door. Okay, so this is how close the car actually is to my garage door. I mean, if I had gone any closer, I would have hit it. That's really quite scary. And I've got a measuring tape here, and that is, at best, 6 centimeters, accounting for the parallax error. So yeah, 6 centimeters from the garage door to the car. Wow. Okay, so yeah, I don't know how much I can trust the cameras to detect how close the front of the car is to an obstacle. Okay, so now let's test the rear camera as I back into the same garage door. So now it's saying 83, 87, 70, 60. Getting pretty close to the door there. Ooh, okay, so let's say it's sort of hovering around 50-ish centimeters, plus or minus up to 5 to 6 centimeters. So let's just see how close we are to that door. Okay, so again, same door. I haven't moved the car. So you can see it's about 22 centimeters from the back of the car to the door. So again, I don't know how much I can trust the camera to detect how close the back of the vehicle is to an obstacle. Okay, so now I am in our trusty Tesla Model Y with the good old ultrasonic sensors. Let's see with the same test how close we get to the garage door. Okay. 40. 30 centimeters. Okay, so you can see it's far more static. It's not wavering around. 30 centimeters. Let's go check it out. Okay, so there we are. Measuring tape from the door to the car. And not 100% accurate, 25 centimeters. But with the ultrasonic sensors, I think it's more accurate than the camera-based sensors anyway. Okay, so now we're testing the sensors at the rear of the Model Y. So let's back in. Ever so slowly. Again, you'll see the numbers are pretty static. It's pretty confident it knows where the car is in space. 30 centimeters. Okay, let's go see how close the back of the car is to the garage door. Okay, so from the garage door all the way to that sensor you can see there, it's about 35 centimeters from that point. And then from the top of the car, which is a bit closer because of the slope, is about 25 centimeters. So again, the ultrasonic sensors are probably more accurate than the camera-based sensors in the new Model 3. Hey everyone, Tesla Tom here. Thanks so much for joining us today on Ludicrous Feed. I'm in the new Tesla Model 3 2024 update. And I thought I would charge the car today at the Macquarie Tesla Supercharger. You can see there's some better signage now. Tesla Superchargers here, which is nice to see. And just reminding you, this car is stalkless, no stalk indicators and no stalk gear shifters. And also, no more sensors either, no more ultrasonic sensors. So we are relying purely on vision only or cameras only. So we're going to navigate this shopping centre car park, do some parking tests as well after we charge up, and maybe go on the street, do some parallel parking tests as well without any sensors, which is a bit different, of course, from previous cars. More signage here for Tesla Superchargers, good to see. And for those of you in Sydney, the Tesla Superchargers here at Macquarie Park are in the valet section, but don't worry, you don't have to pay if obviously you rock up in a Tesla. There it is, small signage, which is good. They're happy to let you go and charge up for free here. So just winding around here. This side, a bit slippery there in the wet. And should be easy enough to charge up here. It's pretty wide spots. So to shift down to reverse, go this way. You can see the nice clear cameras there on the screen. Now there is a wheel stop anyway to stop me going all the way and hitting the chargers, but you can see how far we are from the chargers with the vision only still. There we go. Ooh, okay. Let's move forward just a smidge because we hit the wheel stop. Okay, so okay, keep in mind it's now 1:46 p.m. Let's plug in. I'm currently, state of charge is 24%, and it's showing 94 kilometers. So let's plug in and see how long it'll take. All right, so you see the limit there is 389 kilometers for 100% charge. So we'll see what rate we get with 24% state of charge. This car is capable of 170 kilowatts, but because this is a version 2 supercharger, the most we can probably hope for is 125, 130 kilowatts. So if I get over 100, I'm pretty thankful. But there we go, 104 kilowatts, 113, 116. So 116 kilowatts at 25% state of charge. And it says 35 minutes to get to 100%. So yeah, I might as well stay here for the whole time and see how long it takes. All right, all done here, and 389 kilometers at 100%, which is pretty much the limit of this car. And that took a little bit longer than expected because I guess it was around lunchtime, and yeah, a lot of cars joined after I started charging. So my charging rate dropped by half, basically, because the paired stall was used. So I went upstairs to use the toilet, had a cup of coffee, and I'm back. And look, 139 watt hours per kilometer, which means that with a 57.5 kilowatt hour usable battery pack, you can probably expect to get anywhere between 350 to 400 kilometers on a full charge, which most people don't use unless you're really living on the edge from 100% all the way down to 0. So it depends how fast you drive as well. That'll determine what your range is on the highway. So I reckon if you can get 350 kilometers on a road trip, then you're doing pretty well on a full charge. Probably closer to 300 if you just drive down to, say, 20% or maybe even 10%, just to play it safe. All right, let's head off on our way now. Press the drive, that's all it is. I didn't have to change gears. So that's probably the easiest way to drive off. And we'll just do one more parking test before we head off, just to test out the cameras. Now, to drive into here, let's see. So once the blind spot cameras go off, okay, so it's telling me to stop. Okay, if I reverse, I'll just show you again. Okay, so I don't have a tape measure on me, but that is apparently 30 centimeters. So I'll probably do a test at home, but I'll just show you how close that is as I stop the car. So I think probably at an estimate, that's probably more than 30 centimeters, I would say. That's probably more like maybe 60 centimeters. That's my foot there. There it is. So probably two of my feet from the wall to the car. And I'm a size 8.5 US. So just to give you an idea of the cameras doing their thing there. Probably better to overcall than undercall it, I suppose. See that tap to activate reverse automatically. That's pretty cool. Ooh, just brake once. Accelerate pedal. Okay. Okay, so press the reverse. And we'll just do a reverse test as well. Reverse in and do the same thing. And swipe up to drive. Same thing. Let's gauge how good the cameras are. So there we go, reversing in. We'll stop at 30 centimeters because that's pretty much the last measurement before it starts saying stop. Okay, so 30 centimeters from the back of the car to the wall. Let's go have a look. Okay, so this time is probably a little bit closer than the front of the car. Again, I'll just put my feet up against the car. And this time you can see how, again, size 8.5 shoe, probably there actually. That's right up to the edge of the concrete there, from the back of the car. So yeah, that's probably more accurate than the front of the car sensor, given the camera is like right there, right, under the number plate. Whereas the front of the car, you're actually relying on the cameras here at the top of the windscreen to look at, say, you know, the wall in front of you. I think that's probably less accurate than having like a front bumper camera, I would have thought, down here, which of course the car does not have, as I've shown before in my other video for the new Model 3. So there you go, it's a quick test to see how accurate the camera or vision only tests are, and just by using my feet I can tell you that the front camera probably isn't as accurate as the rear camera, because as I said, the rear camera is right near the number plate, which is at the back of the car, whereas the front camera is right here on the top of the windscreen, so it's a fair distance away from the object in front. So yeah, I don't know, I'd probably still prefer ultrasonic sensors at this stage, unless they can update the software to make it improved. Anyway, we'll see what happens. We know Tesla are the software kings, so they'll probably improve things as time goes on with updates. All right, so let's go down this ramp now. Let's see how good the sensors are. Very wiggly, as you can see, very wobbly. The cameras compared to the sensors, what they used to be like. I suppose if you're driving just straight down like this, it's probably okay. But you know, anytime you've got a tight turn, then I used to rely on the sensors a lot to guide me. I'm probably less confident now, just having done that test actually, that the cameras are the way they are. Like, especially in Sydney, there's just, I don't know, something about the shopping centres and the curbs here, they're always so high, so there's a great chance you could scratch your curb if you're not careful, if you're just not paying attention or distracted for a moment. So that's just something to take note of with these vision sensors. So yeah, so stay tuned. I will do some more parking, 3-point turns. Actually, I'll do one more roundabout test before we head off. Because somebody did ask in the comments, do you think with a more responsive steering, so maybe like less turns required here at the wheel, whether roundabouts are easier if you have to indicate out? I'll do a, that's probably a good point, I don't know. Then I guess you've got to get used to steering a different way. And I've got a roundabout coming up here, and I'll just do a 360 turn and see whether I can do it without crossing my arms, because as I've shown in my previous roundabout video, if I don't cross my arms, it's easier to find out where the indicators are on the steering wheel, so stay tuned. Okay, so here's the roundabout here, and this is a really tight roundabout, so I'm gonna try and do this without crossing my arms. So indicate right to do a 360. Let's see if I can do this. Oh, it's a big stretch. Yeah, indicate out now. And like, you know, I'm fairly agile still, fairly nimble. I still struggled trying to not cross my arms. So I think somebody with more mobility issues, it'd be very hard not to cross your arms to do that 360 turn. So there you go, a bit of feedback for Tesla there. While I've got you guys here, I just want to show you this this red spot here you can see on the A-pillar triangle. See that? That is a blind spot monitor. See that ute passing me now? That's what it's showing. So very subtle, but you know, that's where you need to look if you need the blind spot monitor. There's one corresponding one on the other side too. So see, when I pass this car next to me here, the red spot comes up again, and that is where the blind spot monitor is. Let's park behind this car here. This white Santa Fe. So let's just saddle up next to it. Reverse in. course, with no one else behind me, pretty straightforward, and then just swipe up. And then we are good. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. Let's try to find a spot between two cars, and then tap to park. Okay, now to reverse out, tap to activate drive. Ooh, look at this. It wants me to drive forward, so luckily this is still in beta, this automatic shift to drive, so if I wasn't paying attention, I'd be driving straight into that car. Obviously I don't want to do that, so let's park again. Let's give it one more try. Not working, okay. Luckily you can override. Luckily we still have our eyes and ears around us. And slide up to drive. Yes, luckily that's still very much in beta. We don't want to rely on that just yet. All right, let's do a 3-point turn out of this road. This is a pretty tight road. Indicate this way. And then reverse out. And then slide forward. And by the way, if you ever want to bring up the controls up here, just hold on to the scroll wheel buttons and they will come up, but not too long because you might reset the whole car. So just a second, and that's all it needs to bring up these emergency controls up here, gear controls. All right, so I saw a spot down here between two cars. It's a pretty tight one, but we will try it. Ooh, that is really tight actually. I don't know if I can make that. Ah, well, give it a go. Give it a go between this car. So let's go reverse. And the Volvo. Let's see how good the vision sensors are. Okay, slide up. Not too bad. I'll probably use my eyes rather than using the cameras. But we got in there. Luckily the camera itself is very good quality. Probably trust that more than the current vision stuff. Okay, so we snuck in there and then just press tap to park. Now interestingly, what happens if you want to go again? If I press and hold brake, choose direction on touchscreen. Okay, so I guess the cameras are picking up that there's a car either way and it's letting you make the decision whether you want to go forward or back to get out of the spot. So, all right, well that's it from me. Tesla Tom and Ludicrous feed. Did a few tests today, didn't we? We tested out the vision, did some parking, did a 3-point turn, 360 roundabout. So a few more tests today, and oh look, now it's saying tap to activate reverse. So saying reversing is still the best option between forward and back. All right, good to know. Thanks everyone. Until the next Ludicrous feed video, happy charging.